that's conclusive to me that Tyler knows what he's doing. Hi, I'm Countess Luann de Lesseps, and I'm rewatching my Hollywood Medium reading.
I've seen, you know, card readers and fortune tellers, etc., but I've never had a real reading. So this is very exciting for me, first of all, and kind of a little scary. You know, I think to not know what is coming makes me a little nervous. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah,
Oh,
Tyler,
I
you
recognize
recognizing?
you.
Oh,
Yes.
good.
I was surprised that Tyler recognized me because he's so young, you know, but I do have a lot of young fans because, you know, they grew up with me, you know, they call me mother, right? So, but, you know, you just never know who knows you or not. And, you know, he's, you know, a big deal and in his world in terms of TV and what he does. So I was surprised. You can see on my face, I was surprised that he knew who I was.
Chez Josephine's is really, really special to me.
This is a beautiful space.
This is gorgeous, right?
Amazing.
A good friend of mine owns it, and it's very near and dear to my heart. It's one of my favorite places in the city. Let's sit right here.
Luann, seriously, it's so wonderful to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
Oh, I really
It's
admire
exciting.
you. I'm like a little starstruck. So.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
But I'm actually curious too about this space. So this is obviously a unique space.
Yes.
And it has some actually unique energy, to be honest. So I'm kind of curious.
Oh,
Like,
totally. It's
I love it. And the second I walked into here, there was like I don't know. I don't usually walk into spaces and feel the energy of a person, but I did.
yes.
So I'm just kind of curious about that. So we might touch on that in a minute. But I'm gonna kind of see naturally where we go, because there's already a lot coming in.
I've done, you know, dinner parties there. I've had boyfriends there. You know, we filmed on the Housewives there to celebrate Jill Zarin's birthday.
Jill, you know how much I love you, baby.
Oh my
darling.
God! Luann, Countess,
But I'm even more intrigued now that it's coming back to me, you know, this memory of Chez Josephine's. And I'm really curious as to what energy he's really thinking about right now.
The way that I work is I scribble. It's just my way of connecting. So I'll just give it a scribble and we'll go from there.
Okay.
So I'm just giving.
I love the fact that he starts with scribbling. Interesting, right? That I was like, oh, wow, I've never seen that before.
As of right now, I have one man coming through who I can tell is an individual who is not family, and he actually passed away at a premature age. But he's doing this to me, and when they do this, it's their way of acknowledging that they take accountability for their passing or what caused them to transition. Now this man, I can tell, comes across very like creative, kind of an energy of like very brilliant mind. The thing with this is they're showing me double-edged sword, double-edged sword, double-edged sword. So when they do that, that's their way of usually acknowledging that whatever good quality they had also might have been the thing that caused some torment internally.
Right.
So do you know of any situations pertinent to an individual dying at a premature age and contributing to their own passing?
Yeah, the owner of the restaurant.
Okay.
He
Gotcha.
was a friend of mine.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a really special place for me. And when I say a friend owns it, it's actually Jean-Claude Baker, who was Josephine Baker's son. We used to go upstairs, and he had his office upstairs. And he said, come on up, let's go and try on all the headdresses of my mother. So we were in his office, we were having drinks, trying on her headdresses, you know, and doing like a fashion show moment, just playing like children. You know, we had so much fun together.
And he was very creative,
Right, like brilliant mind in the way this comes
Brilliant.
across.
but his own worst enemy in a way.
Yeah, that's hard. It's a double-edged sword, sometimes being a brilliant, you know, creative person. And in the way this comes in, he's having me acknowledge, like, he actually took his life.
Yeah. Makes me sad again. Yeah. He was so wonderful and so lonely.
Life was a cabaret for Jean-Claude. He was a man who liked to put on a great show. But you could tell there was a certain amount of sadness there and loneliness, you know? But I'm sure a lot of people didn't even realize, so it was a surprise when he passed.
And it's hard, because, you know, when people pass in that way, we're left wondering, well, what could we have done different?
Right.
And things like that. But
Yeah, how come I didn't know how dark it was for him in there?
yeah, but I think, honestly, when he comes through, he just needs everyone to know with this, that Nothing could have been done differently for him. He does not feel alone anymore. He comes through absolutely lovely. Feeling very free is the way that I would describe this. Like, I feel like I'm free, I'm free, I'm free.
He totally pegged it. That's who he was. He was a showman, you know, bigger than life, but on the dark side, very lonely. Yeah. I think, you know, I look at life this way, you know, it's heaven and hell are here, right? Either your life is heaven or it's hell. And I think for him it was hell. So now he's in heaven, he's free.
He was a bon vivant. He loved people.
Right.
You know, and he loved this restaurant. He made this place what it is. Wow. Yeah.
He was always at the restaurant. He was at the restaurant every night. People came really to see him. Do you know what I mean? People came, the food was good, but it was really about Jean-Claude, you know?
Stuff will like fall off of that over there. When that does happen, it's just good to know that that's the man connected to the space.
Over there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where he used to stand and wait for everybody to come in.
Oh.
That's where he used to greet everybody.
I love that, because it's like all right there.
He would stand right at the corner of that bar and wait for all of his friends to come in.
You know, I've tried to honor Jean-Claude's memory in my own life as well. I live my life and I don't really apologize for it anymore. Do you know what I mean? I live the life that I want to live and I'm free to do that. And I feel blessed. And I feel like, you know, Jean-Claude, you know, was like that. You know, he was a bon vivant. He loved life, he embraced life. And life was a cabaret for him, like it became for me. And I feel like we had that in common.
Now I can start coming back here again, because I haven't been back in a while. I was like kind of scared to come back in a certain way. I don't know why, but now I feel like it's okay, I'm good. And Jean-Claude is good, and that's everything.
I was afraid to go back because I just missed him so much and I get very emotional when I think about him. And, but I have been back. I have been back. And, but I miss him a lot.
There's this man popping in, and he is identifying Dad's side of family. He's bringing up the last 6 months of his life for some reason. Mm-hmm. And this man actually passed of cancer. And it's like 100% cancer, like without a doubt. Mm-hmm. And it's like coming through repeatedly. They are bringing me to the month of March for some reason. Mm-hmm. So March. Do you know any significant dates in March within family?
My father died in March.
Yeah.
And he died in 2005 already. I can't believe it's been that long. And he had cancer, so yeah.
He's having me bring up there was a suggestion in some capacity of like going in and trying to do something, but it's like, no, this is not a good time to go in and do this. He's putting like a big red X around this other thing of like a suggestion of like, oh, we can extend someone's life for a period of time.
Right.
And he's saying no with this, like no.
Well, you know, he had cancer and he could have been operated, but he thought, you know what, I'm okay, I don't need to be operated, I can deal with this.
I was devastated he didn't tell me, and that I couldn't help him make that decision. You know, so, you know, that's one of the things that really was so upsetting to me.
He thought, you know, I could beat this. Yeah. And I didn't even know, he didn't even tell me. So he didn't want the family to know. He just thought, you know what, I'm good. But he didn't realize what he was up against, so.
Right. He's like spot on. I mean, Tyler is like spot on. I mean, March, which is the month he died of cancer. You know, he had the opportunity to be operated, which even says, and he didn't. But that was his choice. He didn't want to suffer, but he was still feeling well at that point. So, but if he had told me, because I'm a nurse, if he had said to me, you know, I have this decision to make, you know, I would have said, well, you better, because it's going to spread everywhere in your body if you don't get this out.
It was very hard because it was very close to him, and you know, when you love somebody and you can't help them, and I am a nurse, so it was particularly hard for me that I didn't even know he was ill, and then it was too late, so that was very frustrating for me. It was rough. It was rough to see him go through that journey to the end of his life. But I was with him, and I held his hand. And when he would be scared, I'd say, don't worry, I'm here with you.
when I look back, I realize that I'd forgotten about a lot of the things that he said to me. Really, I had forgotten about the moments. And he was spot on in all the moments. I mean, and you know, it makes me want to go back to Jean-Claude's and to sharing this episode again with my own family and showing it specifically to my mother, who's going to be 96 in December.
He was such a beautiful man with a great stature and had more class in his one little pinky than anybody I've ever met in my life. He used to say to me, you know, remember, the simple life is the best life. And I used to look at him when he would say that when I was modeling in Milan, pulling up in a limo, going, what is he talking about? Simple life.
What is wrong with
how
him?
I'm living. Look at me.
Look at me.
But it's kind of odd to sit across from a young man who's 21 and hearing him kind of channel your father. My father died 12 years ago. You know, those thoughts haven't come into my mind in a long time. And he just laid him out on the table in his scribbles. It's like, wow.
His reading was spot on, and I left with a sense of freedom and relief that, and peace. I mean, I left with a sense of peace. Because in the end, you know, my father was so amazing, and he did have so much class, and he was just a good man. And of course, I miss him every day. Thank you for watching. You can buy tickets for my all-new show, A Very Countess Christmas, at CountessLuann.com. Thanks.